I promised you a roll cage. You're gonna get a roll cage. Before I start this video, I want to show you something. Check this out. And if that ain't cool enough, check this out. You can be the first ones to have an EE Speed t-shirt. We just got these made. Right now we have them in gray, but if you request them in any other color, I'll try to get them in that color. I do not have a website. I do not have the whole buy and press button thing going on, but I do have a telephone. So if you want one of these cool shirts with the old gremlin on the back, all you got to do is call an order, and I'll put the number below. And I'll put an email too, if you in the description. I'll put an email. Maybe I'll throw one across the screen real quick. So all you got to do is either email and ask for one, or call us up and order one. I think they're like $24.95. Okay, I'm pretty sure I can get them in black, maybe navy blue, royal blue, whatever they call it, and white. Okay, I got them in gray because white gets dirty. Black gets hot when you go to a car show, and I got these to go to that last show I went to, and it would have been cooking if I had them in black. But if you like black, if you wear t-shirts, I'm thinking about getting some hoodies and stuff made too, but this is just, I'm going to end the commercial now. But give us a call. I'll say the number real quick for those that might be hearing impaired. That would be brilliant. I'll say it for those of you can, but I'm going to put it on there for those that might be hearing impaired. But the number's 931-788-5569. That's 931-788-5569. Call that number to order yourself one of these cool shirts. I know. The title's a little deceiving. This is indeed a cage that rolls. So it is indeed a roll cage, and I'll prove that at the end of this video. And it is meant to produce more horsepower, because the more hay I can get in it, the more horses that can feed. So that's horsepower, right? Okay, maybe not, but it's a welding video. I'm going to show y'all, anything is possible. They have fixed it multiple times, re-welding this crappy tubing. We're going to go a whole new route and do a little reinforcing. And you've got to make this old rack work. These things are about $300. Ouch! Just to spend more money to feed these critters. But if you're a horsepower fan, or just a horse fan, well, this could be you, because these things break over time. And them animals, especially if you feed cows too, they lean on these things, they break them, what have you. This whole setup is fishing-a-jig, just ain't gonna cut it. So we're gonna make it bigger, badder, faster, stronger. Okay, maybe not bigger, but badder and stronger. Not really faster either. But so I apologize for the the old clickbait on the roll cage thing. But it is, and I'll show you. But I mean, it's a welding video, it's a fabricating video. So if you like fabrication, which I do, one of my favorite shows to watch, it's a fabricating show. Yeah, they build cars, they do all sorts of crap. I watched them build a stove once, right? So if you like fabrication, if you like welding, if you like making things work, taking broken stuff that you get for free, I like free, which by the way, subscribing to my channel is free. So do me a favor and subscribe, even if you think this video is stupid, because, but if you got horses, or cows, or sheep, or goats, or any kind of critter that tends to poop and pee in their hay, and you want to keep them out of it, this is a good idea. And it's the same concept as a roll cage in a car, right? Kind of, sort of, maybe, not really. Okay. Well, anyway, if you decide to watch this video, I'll try to make it interesting, okay? Well, let's get started. Here's my main obstacle, is these, okay? If I button these together, I've got this welding area. Now there's a couple things I could do. is I could just butt them together and then reinforce them with a piece of angle or some kind of iron or tubing. But I'm thinking this is a weak spot because it's pinched, right? I mean, it's pinched, so you've automatically weakened the metal in this area. So what my plan is, I'm going to cut it. Boop, boop. That's why I said it wasn't going to be bigger. It's actually going to be a little bit smaller. Small. But what that's going to do is it's going to give me two squares. Square meals, same thing, right? Balanced meal. So I'm going to cut it and I'll have the two squares and I'm going to butt them together. At least that's what my plan is at the moment. I'm going to butt them together and that's going to give me a whole circumference of area to weld. And of course I've got 3 of these to weld together. This one's, I think we're a little bit somehow cockeyed. So we're going to have to figure out a way to, we'll figure it out. But anyway, we're going to cut these so they're square. I'm going to cut all 6 of these so that I can butt them together, and we'll use heat, hammers, pry bars, porta powers, brute strength, whatever it takes. Drive a truck into it, whatever. We're going to get these to butt up nice. We're going to weld them all the way around. We're going to test on it, see just how strong it is. If it feels good, I might just go ahead and leave it like that. Or I may go ahead and at least on these 2 top ones, maybe put a bar of some sort or something, angle iron, little strap, whatever, across these here just to reinforce it and kind of reinforce that joint, if you will, right? Because joints is where it's going to break every time you start flexing on it and everything else. But I think by going with the diameter, a square diameter, I think that's going to greatly strengthen it. I think that will be enough, but we'll kind of pick up on one end and see just how strong it is. And if it seems like it's flexing, then we'll go ahead and we'll weld some straps in here to reinforce. I think we'll just need one on the inside or the outside, probably the outside, and I think that would be enough reinforcement if we needed it at all. So let's get started. I'm just going to start lopping these off. Probably going to time lapse a lot of that because there's no sense in you watching me for 30 minutes sitting there cutting something with a saw. It's just not worth it. So I'm going to go ahead and time lapse that. I'm going to cut the other end off, which had those upright bars, and I'll show you that. And we'll get all these things cut. We'll get a butt together, and then I'll slow everything back down and kind of explain where we're going from there. And maybe show you the welding for the first 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3, whatever. A minute's a long time on a video. But and then we'll maybe go back to time lapsing as I weld, and we'll go from there. So hang in tight, hang tight, hang tight, yeah, hang tight, hang 10, no, hang tight. And we're going to get started on this hay rack roll cage slash, thing. Let's get started. Okay, what you're seeing now is I'm touching here, but there's a gap here, and if you look down at the bottom, it's overlapping pretty hard. So obviously the reason this thing has broken is because obviously animals have bent it all up, and it's even, you can see over here it's a little bit twisted, and so we're going to compensate for that over here with these joints. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down here. I'm going to measure this distance, and I'm going to cut that much out of here, or here, either way, so I can bring these together. And the same with down on the bottom where it's overlapping. I'm going to make a mark on the overlap, and I'm going to cut it so that they should all match up with the rack relaxed. It's on a flat surface right now, so I want it relaxed, because if I'm trying to pull this, I could sit there and bend and twist and heat and try to get all of this to come together, but it'll be under stress. The welds will forever be under stress. When the animal starts pushing on it, it's going to make it that much worse. So with this way, I'm going to go ahead and relieve the stress by cutting all the pieces even, and that way when I weld them, they'll already be in a relaxed position with no stress on them whatsoever, and they should be able to handle the stress of big livestock pushing on it. So I'm going to get cutting on that, and I guess you get to watch. Alright, it looks like it's roughly 2 inches, so I've got to take 2 inches out of either one of these. So I'm just going to take it out of this one. I think it'll be easier just to put the saw in there. So 2 inches, 2 full inches. Alright, now I'm not going to mark the bottom one yet, because when I cut the 2 inches out of here, it's going to move it some more. So that's where we're not going to worry about the other side just yet. We're just going to cut this side and see where it puts us. If I've said it once, I've said it once. I don't know how I've said it a lot. When you're welding old rusty metal, the key is 6011 stick welding. Now, I'm not the world's greatest welder, and I'm probably, if I have some skinnier rods, I'm probably going to use them because this isn't real super thick. It's thick enough, These are a little bit thicker rod. I'm going to see if I got some smaller ones, but if not, we can make this work. The 6011, this stuff will weld through rust, just about. If you watch my video on the rusty Chevy, fixing that cracked frame, there was more rust than frame. I told him, this is really, you should retire this truck or buy another frame and put all the goodies in it, because the truck runs great, body's not too bad, but the frame is bad. So anyway, watch that video, you'll really enjoy it. And it's pretty popular. But 6011, anytime you are welding rusty metal, clean it as best you can and use 6011. It is, I don't know how to explain it, but for rusty metal, just like rusty metal primer, don't use regular primer for metal that had rust on it, especially if it's still got some pits. You know, you can convert that and everything, but you want to seal that really well. Rusty metal primer is the way to go. Same with this. I'm not even gonna treat this. I'm not painting this thing. We're gonna stick it out there and let it rust some more. So we want to make sure I've got really good weld in there as best as possible. It's got to be strong because we're going to have big animals pushing on it. 6011. It's not as strong. I think it's 60,000 pounds per square inch or something like that. It's strong enough, right? But you don't really realize 60,000 pounds when you're just putting it on a small area and you've got leverage like the size of this rack, or when you're in a car and you've got a frame that's 12, 14 feet long and you're welding a stress area like on a suspension. That little bit of weld is holding that entire car up. And in this case, it's going to be holding this entire rack together in several spots. But looking at what? 2 inches of weld in different spots. So, you know, this is plenty strong. It's not as strong as if you had nice brand new clean metal with 7018, or actually I would probably MIG it if it was good clean steel. But I keep my old stick welder around because it's great for rusty metal. And what do I work with most of the time? Rusty metal. So I'm not ready to retire this old girl yet. So anyway, I'm going to get out, I'm going to see if I got some smaller ones. If not, we'll use this. I'm going to get out the old stick welder and we're going to weld on this thing. And I did discover why that top rail wasn't mating up too good, and it's because she's bent. I'm going to use a hammer, right? And I'm going to try to straighten that out. Maybe I could pull it together with the vice grips. But we're going to go ahead and weld on the center rail first, and we're going to manipulate the rest of the rack to match the center one. Because you can pivot on the center, right? You can pivot, right? Either way. If you do it on the top, well then, you know, I mean, you can work it. But if we start in the middle, then we can fix the other ends and hammer and press and kick and stand on, and whatever I got to do to get all those other ones. I did say I wanted to be non-stress, so if I can get this bent, get a big enough bar on there or whatever, and bend it without putting any stress to it, so it'll be relaxed when I weld it, that would be ultimate. But if I have to force it into place and there'll be some stress on it, once we heat it up and weld it, that should relieve some, maybe not all, but some of the stress. So anyhow, we can do the best we can. I mean, it's free, right? Free! Free, free, free. Isn't that like a commercial somewhere? But anyway, yeah. So when it's free, you make it work. So here we go.
My old GT, I bumped in to my good friend, and he asked me where the hell had I been. So I told him, but she told me I didn't change. She was gonna leave, so I started going.
Now that's plenty strong. Once I finished welding that, it was really strong. It's not even flexing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these two together. As you can see, we're still a little bit off. So I'm going to trim this. Now if you'll notice, when I started welding, there was a gap. The reason you want that gap is because as you start to weld, the weld fills into that gap. And so you'll get weld basically on both sides. If you butt weld it completely, you'll still get penetration, but not as much. If you overlap, then you know you're kind of getting surface welds, kind of like what these are. And so by leaving a little bit of a gap, we fill that entire gap with weld, and it makes it much, much stronger. And I believe we're not going to have to reinforce this. I think when we're done, this is going to be plenty strong. So that being said, I've got my trusty saw right here. Might have to trim it just a little bit more. We're going to have to do a little bit of hammering, I think, on this one. Now you can see it's a little bit higher here. And that's because this is all faci quad. There's a missing one here. So it's been stretched. I've got the vice grip on. Now normally when you hit something, vice grips tend to pop off. So I'm going to hold the vice grip and I'm going to hit it with this little bitty hammer. So I'm going to hold it. Well, broke that. True vice grip fashion, it came off. And there she goes. This one came loose, so we'll fix that later. And this is how I got it in place the first time. So we're going to do the same thing this time. See, that's where she's coming in high. So that's how I got in the position I was in.
But when I got home, she sat me down.
black paint on there just to protect the welds. Yep. Well, I was going to put some black paint. There we go. Just to kind of keep from rusting more. It's already rusty. And I'm making sure I'm really careful. Nope, I'm not. Because it's just to keep the weld from drawing. I mean, there's rust all over this thing, and I'm not about to restore it. So we're just going to kind of keep the rust from getting inside the weld. Well, there we go. Done. I know it's not necessarily a roll cage. I get it. But I did promise you a roll cage, and you will get a roll cage. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this video or enjoyed any of my other ones. Just hit that subscribe button. It helps me tremendously. And it wouldn't hurt if you hit the little like button, make you feel warm and fuzzy too, if you would, please. That's pretty much it. So here we go. I promised you a roll cage. You're gonna get a roll cage.